Hi, I'm Anita from Kitchen Getaway. I'm inviting you into my kitchen today to make these delicious vegan muffins with my daughter, Missy.
Hi, I love these muffins so much because not only are they delicious, they're healthy too because they're vegan. Today we will be making banana chocolate chip, but this is a great base recipe that you can change up with any ingredients that you can think of. Like you can do blueberry, which is always popular with the kids.
Just to tell you a little bit about veganism, it's eliminating all the animal products from what we're using today. And part of that has to do with milk, eggs, and butter. And also the sugar. The sugar is, most cane sugars are processed through animal products, so we have a special vegan sugar that we're using today. We are also using almond milk and a very light olive oil and replacing the butter with that.
So the cool thing is we're taking out all of the unhealthy ingredients and substituting them with healthier ingredients. So now you can have 2 muffins instead of 1.
My daughter has been mixing the dry ingredients, and they are 2 cups of all-purpose flour. We have them here as well so you can see them. A half a cup of cane sugar. This is vegan sugar. 3 teaspoons of baking powder, and a half a teaspoon of salt.
And if you wanted to make this recipe a little bit healthier, you can actually substitute 1 cup of whole wheat flour instead of 2 all-purpose flour.
So now that we have all the dry ingredients mixed thoroughly, we're going to add the liquid ingredients, and we're going to start with the almond milk, in which we incorporate a teaspoon of vinegar to make it into sort of an artificial buttermilk. You can also do that with soy milk, but we've chosen almond milk. This is not really successful with rice milk.
Okay, so we're doing 3/4 of a cup of our almond milk.
And I'm going to incorporate 1 teaspoon of white vinegar. We've substituted cider vinegar occasionally. But
And it still works great, apple cider vinegar.
yes.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and just pour this in.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And then let's add the oil next. We're using 1/4 cup of light olive oil. And I prefer the light. It doesn't give so much, it doesn't have that depth of olive oil that you would get if you were using something a little bit stronger. So we're using the light olive oil, which is still good for you, but
Right.
doesn't have that strong olive taste.
And with this recipe, you can really use, any type of oil that you would use for baking. Just
That's
whatever
true.
you have in your cupboard.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then our egg replacement, which has been thickening, is actually 3 teaspoons of egg replacer. And you can buy this at a health food store. And we've added to that 4 tablespoons of warm water just to get it dissolved.
Right. So we've actually purchased an egg replacer substitute, but you can use things like bananas or applesauce to actually
That's right, Missy.
take the part of the egg. Okay.
So,
do you want me
yeah.
to pour it in?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll just pour that in. Let's make sure we get all of it with this little guy. Okay.
This is actually what holds the muffin together. If you try to do any of these recipes without something that kind of makes the muffin adhere like an egg, you will have a mess at the bottom of your stove, guaranteed.
Okay, so go ahead and use either a wooden spoon or you can use your hands if you want to get crazy.
That's a good idea.
Okay, so we're just going to mix this.
Right. And
Okay.
once you get that stirred a little.
And like I mentioned in the beginning of our video, this is a base muffin recipe. So at this point, you can add the next ingredients, which would be either blueberries or any type of fruit, really, whatever you have in your pantry,
Right.
or in your fruit basket.
So we're going to be adding a cup of bananas.
Okay.
It calls for a cup and a half of fruit, but we're actually using a cup of bananas, and then we're going to do a half a cup of chocolate chips.
Okay.
And these are vegan chocolate chips.
Okay. So the important part here is you want to just mix until it's just mixed. With muffins and vegan muffins, if you mix it too much, then it creates a really dense, heavy muffin.
Exactly.
So we want to avoid that. So we're just going
Right.
to mix it together.
And while she's mixing that, I'm going to get the muffin tin. This actually makes 6 very large muffins or 12 very small muffins. And we like the large ones just because they have a nice presentation. So, and I use an ice cream scoop.
So we're good to go here. I'll just put this right here.
Right. Just to make sure that I'm adding the same amount to each one of the muffin tin. The cups. So we're just going to scoop this in.
So we're going to bake these at 350, and the time cooked is about 35 to 45 minutes. We're ready to go ahead and slide these in the oven. The hard part's done, even though it was super easy. And your house should start smelling amazing in about 5 minutes.
Here we are with the final product, my daughter's vegan muffins. Aren't they beautiful? And they're delicious, and I think you'll really enjoy them. Please try this recipe. And please visit me at kitchengetaway.com.